Good evening. Welcome. Tonight is the 12th night in our 30-day wellness accountability challenge. If this is your first time tuning in, our intention in holding this space every day for 30 days is to cultivate a community that prioritizes self-care, meditation, to introduce various forms of self-care, to practice meditation together, and to deepen self-love. Tonight for the self-care part of the class, I want to talk about something that has been a huge part of my life for the last 4 or 5 years now since this book came out, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And whether you read the book and you do her strategy of decluttering and cleansing your things and getting rid of things that take up space that don't necessarily bring you joy anymore, whether you do it step by step or you just kind of think about your life this way, I think that is very helpful. Everything in our lives takes up space. So physically and analytically, figuratively. So think about it's really helpful to look around you, whatever room you're in, right, and see all of your stuff everywhere. And so many times every day, we'll look around and we'll just be frustrated by how many things we have. And whether it was something that was very meaningful to us at some point in time, we worked hard to earn, to buy, or it was gifted to us by someone special, or it was passed down to us as an heirloom. The whole premise of the book is everything in your life should spark joy, should bring you joy and happiness, whether it's a mug, a lamp, a shirt, a piece of jewelry, everything at all. And if it doesn't, you're supposed to thank it for its time with you and pass it along. So whether you donate it or you sell it, or if it's something, paperwork or a photo, like throw it away, like whatever it is. But it's supposed to lighten our load. And I think if we can kind of carry this over into each area of our life, not just with our things, but a lot of the time when I'm feeling overwhelmed and my head is spinning, and it's really helpful for me to sit down with my journal and draw a circle. And that circle is a plate. And we can only have so many things on our plate. Think of it like a buffet, right? You have your plate, you see all these things in front of you that you're so eager and excited to try and to eat, but you only have so much room. It's very much like our minds and our lives and our homes, right? So if it's filled and consumed with things that are good or okay, but that we don't love, we're missing out on opportunities to actually enjoy what we want the most. So kind of adapting to this mindset has been super transformative for me because it makes decisions easier when I get dressed, because I love most of what I have. If I don't, I try to regularly kind of sift through things and get rid of it, donate it, sell it, give it away. And it just, that whole energy shifts if you are able to do this regularly. Like if you notice your desk and it just has so much junk on it, that desk is not going to excite you when you walk into the room. You're not going to say, I can't wait to sit at that desk and write or do work or pay bills, right? Especially if it's something that you already are like, about, like you're not excited to do it. So just taking time to deliberately, especially since a lot of us have that time right now, and it can be a great thing you do to divert your attention away from things that are completely out of your control anyway. But go through your things. Like if it's not a book that you reference regularly or that you hope to reread or that you do reread, regift it, rehome it, shred your paperwork. So many things are online now, like bank statements, everything. Like there's just unnecessary to allow things like that to take up space. And whether you have an 800 square foot home or an 8,000 square foot home, it should be filled, or it should be very simply filled Maybe it's more modest, but with everything that you love, things that excite you, things that inspire you. I strongly recommend it. If you're not really sure where to start, you're interested, but you're feeling a bit overwhelmed or confused about it, this book is a great way to kind of dive into it, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Even if you just Google it on Pinterest, there are so many different checklists and breakdowns of where to start in your house. So I think that she has you start with clothing, but she has you pull everything in that category from all over your house. So you don't have to redo it when you change seasons. Like, you really do a very thorough cleansing of everything. And you check in periodically, right? Because we get things as gifts and we just buy things, and that's just our habits. But it's a really great way. It's a great thing to do right now. It's a great way to just stay inspired, to keep your space feeling light, feeling positive. It's a good way to like check in. Sometimes we change inevitably and we can't relate, whether it's clothing or a certain picture. It's just not who we are anymore, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing shameful. It's the beautiful part of life. We're able to evolve and adapt and take on these new, as we learn more about ourselves, especially as we travel down this path of meditation. We learn what's most important to us, right? I've had so many different types of careers in the last 12, 14 years. I've been a teacher. I've worked in corporate world. I've traveled all over the world. I've done a lot of different things. And so like I have done this many times with my wardrobe because it just doesn't suit me anymore. And it's not that I didn't think it was cute or I liked it, but I just knew I wouldn't wear it, and I know my space is limited. So why take up space with something that isn't me anymore? So that's my little nugget of wisdom for self-care. I highly recommend it. When I first started recondoing my home, my family thought I was crazy. I got rid of like 8 to 10 black garbage bags filled with clothing because I had a very difficult time letting go of things. But as I've practiced this consistently, it gets so much easier, and it really reiterates the message of meditation in that nothing is permanent. And it helps us detach from things so much. Highly recommend. All right, let's get into meditation. In case you're joining us for the first time tonight, we meditate to give our brains a bath, to get rid of any funky ideas, overwhelming feelings. Sometimes when we're around other people who are feeling heavy, difficult things, emotions, we kind of take that on. We take on their energy, so it kind of just allows us to detox, to just shed some of that, and the only thing that you have to do is breathe. And I think that we've done this before, but something to keep in mind if you're having difficulty meditating is thinking of your breath as just a cleansing detox, right? So as you inhale, just imagine that a white light traveling all over your body, really taking with it anything that's not serving you, anything that doesn't feel good. If you feel like you're holding stress in part of your body, just imagine that light, imagine your breath going right to that area. This may seem a little kooky, but I swear it works. I did it the other night. I woke up in the middle of the night with a horrible stomach ache, and I just kept taking deep breaths and visualized it going right to that area, and I was able to fall back asleep a lot faster than I have in the past when this has happened. And so I think that is a really powerful breathing technique. It's also a really great thing to practice if you are finding your mind wandering. Just imagine your breath going to any area of your body, your mind, your spirit that just needs a little bit of love and light tonight. So you can sit up nice and tall. You can sit with your legs crossed. You can sit on your heels with bent knees. Your hands can be facing up or down, or they can be on your stomach, which can be helpful to foster presence. You can decide if you want to rest your eyes or if you are comfortable closing them all together. We're up to 7 minutes, so I'm going to start my timer, and we'll welcome a nice deep breath in. And let's begin. that startled me tonight. I hope you enjoyed our little self-care session. I hope you enjoyed the meditation. Annalisa, I love Marie Kondo. I'm glad you love her too. Gonna have conversations about her next time we see you. As always, if anything comes up between now and tomorrow's session, feel free to leave a note in the comments, send me a private message, email me, katie@peaceandpurement.com. Oh, and excited to share, if you have kids and you want to check out tomorrow with Rivertown Magazine, I'm doing a read aloud with my book, Let's Sit Down and Meditate. And it'll be really fun, and Seb and Scarlett are joining that as well. So feel free to check it out. It's at 11 o'clock through their Facebook Live. So I hope you all have a good evening. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place.